Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we're going to talk about something or other that unfortunately will affect all of us. Returns. And this actually is because one of our viewers commented down below and asked us to do a video about this, so we're going to do so. And let me ask you a quick question. Do you have more returns in general on eBay or Amazon?
Amazon.
And I do as well. What is your return policy? And I know sometimes it's all over the place just because different things get listed at different times.
Right.
But what is your general return policy on eBay and why?
The 60 days you're talking about?
Yep.
Well, it's good for business, I guess. They don't force you to do it, but they
want a minimum of 30 at this point.
They suggest you do the 60, which PayPal's the same, isn't it? I think so. You might as well do it.
Right, and at this point, you're not on managed payments. So for people who are not on managed payments, PayPal, I believe, actually gives you 6 months to return something. And because of that, I don't know why you wouldn't just do 60 days on eBay. There's no, they can still get their money back through PayPal for 6 months.
One way or the other, they're getting it. Yeah. If they're smart.
So why limit it to 30? That just means they have to jump over to PayPal in order to get their money back.
Right.
So I also offer 60 days. Now, I offer free returns on everything domestic. Now, obviously, if you're international, I do not offer free returns because that would cost far too much. Mm-hmm. But I have the same issue as you do. I very rarely, knock on wood, get any returns on eBay. And the returns are all on Amazon. And why do you think that is?
They are very buyer-friendly, Amazon. They want to appeal to the buyer's needs and keep them happy. And they allow them to return anything at any time for any reason, pretty much.
And you're going to lose.
Right. And, well, even with COVID now, you can't. If you're a seller, you can't even speak to anyone, even if you wanted to dispute anything. And you've seen it. You have to email them, and no one gets back to you with that. So the buyer has 100%. Rewarded with return to get his money back no matter what.
And I know that one of the situations that I'd heard about, and hopefully this isn't true, but I had heard that people were doing during the worst of the slowdown is they were ordering a lot of things through Amazon, and if it was arriving late, they were putting in a complaint to Amazon, getting their money back and keeping the item.
Oh yeah.
And if it arrived on time, they put in a return and sent it back.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So basically, they were scamming the sellers left and right because, I don't want this, if it got there on time.
Right.
And if it didn't get there on time, they got it for free.
Yeah, they knew they could beat the system, and they did it, For me, it was a 50% success rate, I think, we saw with the chargebacks and the returns and so forth. Sometimes they'd rule in the buyer's favor, or sometimes they wouldn't take the money out of my account and still pay them. So they'd eat the money about 50% of the time.
I think one of the biggest problems with Amazon in general is the use of stock photos and the fact that a lot of people don't bother reading the description area. I think that's absolutely a major problem. I got a return on an item that it was a comic book, and I had listed it for the drop down very good. Mm-hmm. And if I listed it as very good on the Amazon drop down, it was fine condition. Right. So kind of the way those drop downs work is it's one grade off. So if it's good, then it's a VG comic, that kind of thing. And I had listed down below fine condition comic book. The gentleman made a return on it because it wasn't the one that was pictured, which was in high grade. It's a stock photo. I used very good as my drop down. I mentioned below it was fine. And you wonder if these people have issues with everybody that they're buying. Because, again, he returned the item, and, it wasn't like he was trying to scam me or anything like that. He did return the proper item, et cetera, et cetera. He just thought he was getting the one that was being pictured.
Right, yeah.
And that can always be a problem. You can put your own pictures up, but one of the advantages of Amazon is in a lot of items, you're going to sell them for less than you will on eBay, but it doesn't cost anything to list them.
Right.
One of the reasons why you would want to do that is because you can list so fast. Makes a big difference, because you can really pound through the items and get them listed in a hurry. So that definitely is an advantage to Amazon without a doubt. So if you sat there and took the time on every single item to put your own picture up, that would take away that advantage.
Right.
And then basically you're having the things listed. It's taking as long to list, and they take a lot longer to sell.
Yeah. We do that if it's like a $50 item or more. We'll put our own picture up there just so they know what they're getting.
And I do so if there is no picture up, because but
Right,
what I've begun to do now is say there's no picture up, but you have yours listed at $8, and normally I would list mine at $8.21 because I use the year as the cent part, so that way I kind of know when I listed it, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm going to list mine at $9.21 because I'm going to say I'm actually putting a picture
Right.
that's worth something over you're not having a picture.
Yeah.
So I'm going to increase my price slightly to pay for my time to put the picture up, but the buyer then will know exactly the item that they're getting. So that's kind of a little bit of a tip there for you too if you're pricing. Too often we value our time too little. And you take the picture, you put it up, and then you list it at $8.21.
Right.
You can get $9.21 out of it because it's got the picture.
Yeah.
You did take the time. It did take a little bit of time. You get paid $1 for doing a picture. You might as well. It's only right as far as things like that go. So any comments about returns overall? Have you had any recent problems, any recent situations
we've
with
been slammed
returns?
though with the holiday returns. We're still getting stuff in, because they're getting the item late. Say they bought an item December 20th, they got it January 20th. Now they're returning it January 30th. So
One of the big problems that I have with Amazon is the communication between buyers and sellers is difficult. And there are times where you may not have read the description, but it's a low-priced item,
yeah,
where I would rather have you keep the item because the returns are set up through UPS. And so if it's a $5 item, what am I paying to get that item back?
And what did you pay originally to buy the item? If you're selling for $5, that's how I would look at it. If you paid $1, do you want to pay $5 to get it back?
Exactly,
No.
exactly. I don't want to pay $5 to UPS or $7 to UPS to get a $5 item back. I'd rather, look, I'm sorry for next time. It's noted down below just to let you know. Please keep the item. Make it easy for you. You don't have to hand it to your UPS driver. You don't have to repack it.
Right.
But there's really no way of doing that. They just click on return.
Yeah.
The label's automatically generated for them, and it's on its way. It's being processed.
And for some reason, Amazon buyers don't seem to receive emails.
No.
We'll have a variation of, say, this Hot Wheels car. And it was listed through Amazon with the UPC. But then, say, a green one shows up, and whoever the lister didn't notice that or something.
Or the picture was changed after the fact.
That could be, too, yeah. And then, what happens is we'll sell it, we'll look at it, it'll be a variation color. We'll email them. 2 weeks go by, nothing from the buyer. We might email them again. And then a week later, where's my item? So for some reason, they're not getting, sellers' emails. Where eBay, they always respond. It's almost like 100%. Where Amazon, it could be 20% of response.
Almost makes you wonder if on Amazon they're not using some kind of I don't want to say a burner email, but more of a burner email, so they don't check it regularly.
Okay.
That would kind of make sense because I would
They
think
shouldn't go to spam. They should not go to your spam folder, I would think.
no,
Not from
but
Amazon.
if they're using like a Outlook account and for their day-to-day use, the Gmail, they may not check it for a week or 2 weeks, but then or whatever reason, 'cause it does say regarding order number right in the top, as I recall on it, so they should know that it's legitimate.
Right.
And what the viewer out there mentioned, which I think they may have a point as well, was people tend to view Amazon as this monolith. It's this big, gigantic company. And I don't think a lot of people necessarily understand that Amazon sells their own things. Amazon ships things for sellers through FBA. And there's also FBM, Fulfillment by Merchant, which is just working class people like us that are sitting there doing our own. People don't necessarily understand that.
Right.
Whereas on eBay, I think people understand that it's just all merchants.
Right.
So they may be sticking it to Amazon in their heads when they're doing a return. Oh, they got enough money, it's no big deal.
Sure.
Amazon's $1 billion company, so I'm sending this thing back. Who cares? It's it's $1 billion company. Well, we're not $1 billion companies yet.
Right.
We're only the $1 million peddlers. We're not the $1 billion peddlers. Remind me to copyright that $1 billion peddlers.
Gotcha. Someday.
hopefully soon if people start buying stuff. So they think they're sticking it to the man, and they don't care too much because Amazon can afford it. Whereas on eBay, because you can personalize your store, et cetera, you can tell your story a little bit better on eBay. I think people understand that, hey, we're just trying to work hard to make a living, and yeah, mistakes do happen, and we're sorry, but we're going to work with you, as opposed to Amazon being this big, gigantic company.
Right.
So I think that is a very valid point that the person who commented on our video made as well. So if you have any comments about returns, be sure to put them down below. If you could subscribe if you haven't already, and do hit that like button, and we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Wanna be